Hey, what's up everybody, this is Re-Spec and today I'm going to be talking about some pretty good news we have for Fallout 76, and that is an update Bethesda has released talking about just some general stuff like communication and stuff like that, and then some actual patch notes coming in December. Now there's two versions of this article. There's one on Reddit which I assume came first that's kind of less official, then there's a more official one that's on Bethesda's website that's called Inside the Vault, and I'm pretty sure this is Inside the Vault is what they want to be their continuous like updates about the game, and even if it doesn't have patch notes in it, they just want to tell people and communicate more generally what's going on with Fallout 76, which is a good direction. Now we're going to go on the Reddit one because it does talk a little bit more about stuff. Now I'm not going to read these first paragraphs, but they're basically talking about how they know the game's broken. They know they've had some lack of communication that they want to fix, and that they've still been working on updating the game and stuff like that, which is definitely pretty good to hear, because a lot of people have actually been talking about that they might not just update this game. They might just kind of, throw the updates away, since this game has pretty much been a failure, at least for reviews and stuff like that, and compared to their previous game sales. But I'm going to go down into the actual updates that are coming, because that's the more important stuff, really. So on December 4th, 2018, next week's update will bring an increase to the stash limit, as well as a variety of performance and stability improvements, balance changes, and multiple bug fixes to the game. We'll have full patch notes available later this week ahead of Tuesday's update. Some notable issues being addressed in this update. So first is something everyone wanted, but it's not exactly what everyone wanted it to be, but that is a stash limit increase. We know many of you have been asking for the adjustment to the stash stored limit, and we're happy to share that we're increasing it from 400 to 600, which isn't a huge increase, but it's still pretty nice. While this is somewhat conservative, we plan to increase the storage cap further once we verify that this change will not negatively impact the stability of the game, which is, in my opinion, a pretty good way to do it. The stash limit is ridiculously way too low. Increasing it to 400, 600 definitely gives us a little bit of room to breathe, but not by much. And them doing this, it sounds like they're going to increase it slowly over time, depending on how much impact it has on stability, which is definitely a pretty good way to do updates like this that they don't exactly know how it will impact the stability of the game. We definitely don't want servers crashing or lag to start happening in this already super buggy game. So them being more cautious about bringing updates into the game with stuff that could possibly negatively impact the stability is definitely a good way to bring these updates out. So next we have boss loot. Players should correctly receive 2 or 3 items after taking down a boss, depending on levers on the creature's difficulty and level. Now, I'm not exactly certain what this is fixing. Now, if you don't know, some bosses can randomly drop like a dozen or more items, weapons and armor, plus the materials they drop, so they drop a few dozen different things. I don't know if this is saying those things are going to drop 2 to 3 items. If it's saying that certain stuff that wasn't dropping items, like if you kill any bosses, and if you don't know what bosses, it's a mob with a crown on it. Bugs and stuff that were bosses wouldn't drop anything extra besides the normal meat the bugs normally drop. So I'm wondering if those are going to drop the 2 to 3 items. If they're nerfing the amount of items, the bosses that could drop a ton of different things are dropping. If it's going to be they're increasing like the rarity or quality of items that are dropping, or if they're high level, if they're dropping rare items instead of getting like a bunch of 10mm pistols or something. So we have to see what this fix actually does. If it's just adding item drops to bosses that weren't dropping anything before, that's pretty good. But hopefully we'll see that hopefully it doesn't like completely reduce the drops of certain bosses that dropped a bunch of stuff before. Cryolator effects, which no one used anyway. Players hit with the cryolator are now chilled, frosted, or frozen depending on how many times they are hit. The duration of movement speed reductions applied by these effects have only been decreased from 2 hours to 30 seconds. I don't really know anybody who used this weapon. The ammo's not that easy to get. and they just didn't seem that good at all. But I guess change of cryolators. Respawning when over encumbered. We've resolved an issue affecting players who die while over encumbered that only allow them to respond to Vault 76. Now over encumbered players will be able to respond to the nearest discovered map marker. This is definitely a pretty big fix. This was actually the way you do the excavator armor glitch before, even though I think they fixed that with how you like server hop, how it after you server hop it disconnects you from the server, which kind of fixed that. But this is definitely a very good fix because that's clearly a bug that you can only respawn to Vault 76 when you die and now are carrying too much. So it's actually definitely a pretty big bug fix. That could definitely be a game-breaking bug, making you relog after you die just to get back in the game. Stuck in power armor, thank God. This is the most ridiculous bug in the game and the biggest game-breaking bug I have found. I'm going to be making a video, since it's coming out next week, I'm going to make a video kind of showing you guys how you can fix this before the patch comes out, because I had this issue and I was pretty close to just saying I'm done playing this game till they fix this, because it was just ridiculous. So stuck in power armor, we've addressed an issue in this patch that could cause players to become stuck inside power armor. We're also aware that there are some additional cases where this can occur, and we're actively investigating them. Now, I'm hoping that means that just majority of them of that bug are fixed. Now, there's two ways this bug I've seen has happened. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures all around of people being like stringy, weird-looking humans that look like they're all like deformed and stuff because they were stuck inside power armor. Now that can happen with people that are wearing power armor who have gotten out of it. That's just a graphical glitch for other people playing with them. And then there are one where you see it as well and you are still glitched. So basically you would get in power armor, your character inside would disappear, you wouldn't be able to get out. You sort of do it a special way to even get out, but that would delete your frame. And if you did it a really weird way, you could actually get it to be completely fixed, which is what I did, which I'll show you guys in a video. Then we have December 11th. The next update after December 4th is currently planned for the following week. Like previous patches, it will include a variety of bug fixes, but we're also planning to bring some more notable changes to features to the game. You can catch a preview of these improvements below, as a full list of changes will be included in this December 11 patch. Now, for this patch, before we get into the next one, December 4th, they've also said, I don't know if they specifically say it on this, but there will probably be performance increases. I'm pretty sure they might say it somewhere at the top in one of these articles that pretty much every patch can have performance increases. So these aren't the full patch notes, these are just notable changes that they're showing us for now. Hopefully the patch notes will be a lot more descriptive than the first patch notes we got were, which left a ton of stuff out, even a ton of good stuff that players wanted that was actually in the patch out of the notes for some reason. I don't know why they do that. Hopefully they're actually going to tell us everything that are in these patch notes. So this one, again, it's not the full patch notes, it's just showing some bigger stuff that's happened in the game. So this one is PC additions, push-to-talk setting for voice chat, 21:9 resolution support, which is widescreen monitors support, and a field of view setting are all being implemented on a PC with this update. This is a pretty big one because these are all features that should have already been in the game. But now that we're getting them, that is definitely a very nice update for PC players. Push-to-talk, absolutely needed. Pretty much everybody I played with turned off the in-game voice chat because no one wants to hear someone open micing and hear everything in their house. 21:9 support, I don't have a monitor that works for that or that needs that, but that's definitely something that should have been in the game. If you have those type of monitors, having support for it should have probably already been in the game. Field of view setting, this is definitely pretty big. The field of view isn't terrible. I think it's baseline set at 80 or 90. 90 is usually the baseline for most games, so most people don't have that big of an issue with it, but a field of view is definitely needed for PC games and definitely a nice addition to the game. Because I usually use pretty high field of view games, especially in FPS games, so it's definitely a very nice implement that everyone on PC has wanted. Special Re-Spec. Now this one's pretty big. especially how they're doing it. After level 50, you'll be able to choose between a new perk card or moving a special point you had previously allocated. Now, this is pretty big for super endgame people. I'm level 117 and I don't even have close to all the perk cards at maximum rank, or like rank 1 and 2 or whatever, like the lower ranks, to be able to fit all of my stuff in like correctly. I don't even have close to all the cards at level 117, surprisingly. But I definitely like how they're doing this, because if you were just able to respec super easily, it would basically take away making alts in Fallout, which in Fallout games, making alts, at least since 3, have been a pretty big deal. And like playing the game a different way, making different builds with all your different spec stuff and all that type of stuff has been a pretty big deal in Fallout. So I'm glad that this is a way to over time change how you want your specials, but also make it so you can't just do it instantly and do it super easily. So there's actually still somewhat of a incentive to making alts. I think it's a pretty decent way how they're implementing this with how we see in these patch notes. Now we have camp placement on login. Your camp will no longer be automatically blueprinted and stored if someone is occupying your location when you log into the server. Instead, you'll receive a notification that your space is occupied. If you decide to find a new home for your camp on that server, it will be free to do so. However, if you don't attempt to place down your camp, you will be able to switch to a new server where the spot is vacant and your camp will be fully assembled and waiting for you. Now this is a feature that I don't think they talked about before, but a lot of people on Reddit and different comments and stuff like that have actually been asking for this specific change, how it is being done, that it gives you a warning and that you can switch to a different server to possibly have your camp placed back down where it was before instead of it just instantly being stored. This is a very nice change, especially how the storing works in the game. You would still have to replace all your stuff, reconnect all the power, find a place if you didn't want to do it in that exact spot, or if someone's already building there, find a place that your camp can actually be placed, because the stored blueprints don't place correctly half the time. So this is a very big change. Hopefully they keep updating the camp stuff, because right now it's kind of, unless you like base building a lot, it's kind of useless. You just place down your like scrapping places in your building stations, stuff like that, and that's it. So this is definitely a much welcome change. Bulldozer, this is something new they haven't talked about either. This is a new camp feature that allow you to remove small trees, rocks, and other obstructions, so it's easier to create and place your camp when and where you want it. You can use a bulldozer to clear these items from the surrounding area to make your camp feel more like home. Now, this is a very cool feature, but I'm hoping they make it, which it does sound like they're making it so you place on your camp somewhere, and then in your camp area, you can remove trees and rocks and everything in the area to kind of flatten it out so there's not stuff around. I'm hoping there's no glitch, or there's no way to be able to just bulldoze stuff anywhere, because then we're going to see there's going to be no trees or rocks left in the game, because people will do that if they're able to do it. But that's a pretty cool feature as well. Now, these updates hopefully aren't, I mean, I know they're not showing everything. Hopefully there's going to be a good amount more like smaller bug fixes, massive performance increases, hopefully, because they need it. Hopefully every patch will be having performance increases, especially in some areas that give you some insane FPS drops. Even with a decent computer, you get stutters and pretty big FPS drops in some areas. So these are overall pretty good updates. Hopefully they will keep doing updates, honestly, on a weekly basis until a lot of the bugs are fixed. And then adding new content. I hope this game has a pretty good skeleton. I think I saw this in a comment somewhere that this game is basically a good like skeleton, just the insides aren't very good right now at all and are pretty broken, but the skeleton is there to make a really good game, and hopefully they can basically No Man's Sky this game, even though I never played that game. That's a term a lot of people like to use. Hopefully they Destiny 2 it, basically. So hopefully down the road it becomes a very good game that the reviews, that the current reviews go up as the game gets better and better. We can be hopeful. I mean, the game could just not do anything very nice. But by these patch notes, it seems like they're going in the right direction, in my opinion. So let me know down in the comments what you think of these patch notes. Let me know if you think they're going in the right direction for this game. Subscribe if you want to see more Fallout 76 content. I still will be doing updates, doing farm videos, glitch videos, all that type of stuff. Subscribe if you want to see more of that, and thanks for watching.